ball as grinding medium. Here you are going to use rods. This is one of the important factors to remember. In case of rod mill, since we are using rods, length of the rod is more, diameter of the rod is less. So that's why the length of the mill will be high and diameter will be less. Otherwise, if there will be same kind of length and diameter will be nearly same, then when you tumble it, the rod may get entangles or tangle up somewhere, right? So that's why the L by D ratio is somewhat high, your L by D ratio is somewhat close. Right. So this is a difference. And the last difference is fine size products. Maybe not uniform, but here you will get coarse, mostly coarse size products. With uniform size. With uniform size. So these are the basic differences. Fine. If you need fine size products, you use ball mill. If you need coarse size products, you can go for rod operation. And if you remember, basically, if your final step of concentration process is from flotation, then you prefer this mill. And if your final concentration process is gravity concentration or magnetic concentrations, then we can prefer this one. So you can also write in that way. So these are the differences. And one important point you have to remember, these ball mills or this rod mill, they have also liners actually. Inside the mill, they have liners. It doesn't mean that, suppose mill is made up of steel. So inside that also there will be a liner. Liner means that material is stronger and tougher or harder compared to the outside one. Okay. And after certain operation, we need to change this liner. Why we need to change it? Can you tell me? Just what is happening? Degrade hoga. That mechanism is called what kind of degradation? Okay, fine. But that mechanism is called wear mechanism actually. Wear, we call wearing of the liner or balls. Wear. Wear mechanism. So wear mechanism exactly means what happens? Balls are rotating or rods are rotating inside the mill, and there is a liner plate. So there will be a friction between them, of course, between the liner and the ball, between the liner and the rods, right? So there is a relative motion actually. There is a relative motion between the balls and the liner and or rod and the liner. Due to relative motion, what will happen? Some material will come out or erosion kind of thing will happen, right? The ball diameter will reduce with time. The diameter of the rod will also get reduced, and also the liner plate, that diameter also get reduced. Reduced means it becomes thinner. It becomes thinner actually, right? That means some material is getting eroded out, you can say, right? So after that time, you need to change the media, like you need to change the balls, you need to change the rods, you need to change the liner. Then you can operate it further. So this is one of the major issue with the ball mill, rod mill. You understand my point? Because the diameter of the ball is changing, so the product size will also change, right? Your diameter of the rod is changing, that means the final product size will also change, because initial size matters always. You understand my point? So next major issue will be what? The mineral will also get contaminated for that. Is it okay? Suppose you are grinding copper ore, right? And you are using steel balls. So due to this wear, your copper minerals also contain some iron at the end. So that is a problem, of course, right? So that is one of the major issue, that wear will anyhow happens and your mineral will get contaminated. So you need to change it with time also. But suppose, for example, you are not going to have wear action, for example, and you don't want heavy kind of milling, soft kind of milling you want, right? So then in that case you can use certain kind of liners. Those are made up of polymers. Polymers are very soft actually, so no wear of the polymer will happen, right? And they are soft material, right? So no wear will happen. You can use polymers, then that is fine. Or you can use some porcelain. Porcelain means ceramic materials also you can use, which are close to the composition of the mineral, right? If the liner is made up of not steel, for example, it is made up of ceramic material and it is close to the composition of the mineral, so contamination will not gonna happen. If that porcelain also get eroded out, for example, it will not gonna contaminate the minerals because its composition is somewhat similar. Okay, fine. And similarly, if you are using a rubber, for example, rubbers are elastic material, right? They will not get eroded, or wear of rubber will not happen with time. So you can use that also. But those are used for pharmaceutical industries mostly. Pharmaceutical, because pharmaceutical industry, because they are making medicines, right? They cannot alter the composition of the medicine. It is very critical. So in that case, they can use a ball mill and liner is made up of rubber. Simple. Anyway, it is fine. This is the one of the way you can prevent the wear action. Relative motion means what? One will be constant, one is moving. That is relative motion. Or one is moving at slow speed, one is moving at high speed. That is relative motion. And due to that relative motion, if material is coming out or erosion of material is happening, that mechanism is called wear mechanism. You have to remember. So whenever somebody is saying wear is happening means, of course there will be a relative motion between the two bodies. Right? Here one body is the liner and the body is the ball. Is it fine? Okay, we'll move to then screening or sizing. Sizing or size separation. Sizing or size separation. So we have done with this crushing, we have done with this grinding. Next main important operation is sizing or size separation. It simply means we need to separate the minerals according to their sizes, right? Or we need to separate the minerals according to their sizes. Means in crushing and grinding, what we are doing? We are doing size reduction. So at the end of the size reduction, you cannot get uniform size products. Some product will be bigger, some product will be smaller. We can say coarser and finer. Or in other way, I can say oversize and undersize. These are the two terms people use in industry, oversize and undersize. So you can separate oversized mineral and undersized mineral by doing this sizing process. Is it okay? So basically, two things can be done. One is by using screens, or you can use classifier. Screens and classifiers. So what is the basic difference actually? Can you tell me what is the basic difference? I told you already in the previous lecture. Classifiers, very good. So basically, these screens are mostly used in crushing circuits. I told you many times there can be closed circuit and open circuit operations, right? And in industry we prefer closed circuit, right? Because we know that at a particular size we will get our perfect liberation. If the size is bigger than, suppose the product size is bigger, that means you haven't achieved that liberation yet, right? So that's why always what happens after crushing, again you return back some of the coarse particles into the crusher. So this returning back of the coarse particle again into the crusher it become closed circuit again, right? So always it will operate in a closed circuit. So that means I can simply say I will have screen first then I will have a crusher, then again I will have a screen. Fine? First there will be a screen, then there will be a crusher, then again there will be a screen. Suppose again there will be a crusher, again there will be a screen. So this will go on actually, right? Because oversize always return back into the crushers. So that becomes closed circuit. Okay. Similarly, these are preferred in grinding circuit. Or closed circuit grinding. And also I tell you, suppose you might get a question, sure, like why we cannot use screen in grinding? In the grinding circuit, why you cannot use a screen?
Finer.
But that is not actually happening. Or suppose, okay fine, suppose you do dry grinding for example. We mostly not prefer dry grinding, we prefer wet grinding. But suppose still you prefer dry grinding. Okay fine. Suppose you prefer dry grinding and you want to use a screen for example. But you cannot able to separate coarser and finer in by using a screen after dry grinding also. Why? What exactly happens? When you do grinding, the moment the particle become very fine. And once it becomes very fine, again it will become agglomerates. Automatically it will become agglomerates. That means individual particle will be not there. Some 7-10 particles or 20-30 particles will be together. In that it is finer, but still they will become agglomerates. Why this agglomeration will be happening? Because of van der Waals forces will be acting. Finer is the particle, more van der Waals force will be acting, they become single particle. Many particles become single particles. Or maybe some electrostatic force will be acting also, they become single particles. Okay. So due to attraction actually, due to van der Waals forces, due to electrostatic forces, they become agglomerates. And once they become agglomerates, they will not pass through a screen because they are not individual particle now. They are group of particles together, right? So that is why we always go for classification and we always prefer wet grinding. So that the next process will be easy. Technically in industry they call downstream processes actually. Upstream and downstream. So you might have heard, I don't know, but many people say like this, I am working in downstream operation. What exactly means? That means I am working beyond the grinders, for example. I am working in classification plant. Okay. Suppose somebody is saying I am working in upstream. Maybe they are working in crushing area. That is upstream. So to make the downstream operation easy, we have to use classifier because the particle size is so fine, they automatically become agglomerates. Agglomerate means group of particles and you cannot use a screen to pass them. So screening efficiency will go down with fineness of the particle. You can write, this is a very important point. The efficiency of screening operation goes down with the fineness of the product, fineness of the combination product. Efficiency of screening operation goes down with the fineness of the product or combination product. So in simple way I can say finer is my product, efficiency of screening will be poor. So that's why we never use screen here. Right? I cannot use screen here. After grinding. Okay, here. Grinding circuit. But somebody may say, okay fine, we can dry it and we can use it. That actually what happens, some moisture will be also there. Finer is the particle because, for example, India is a what kind of country? It is full of moisture because we are surrounded by the oceans and seas. So lot of moisture is there in the atmosphere. So automatically when the particle size becomes finer, they automatically absorb the moisture also. Due to this absorption of moisture, they become agglomerates. That is another problem. Right? But if you go for drying, for example, you want to do drying, then you have to spend some energy, of course. So why we will spend those energy? We can use a classifier simply. We will do wet grinding and we will use a classifier. That is a simple problem can be solved. Okay. Okay, fine. Screens. We will discuss about the screens. So you can have this kind of screens, you can see. These are nothing but your bars. Huh? Bars. Okay. We can have this kind of screen. And we can have this kind of screen also. We can have this kind of screen also. Or we can have this kind of screen. These are called oven ware. These are square screen. These are rectangular screen. Rectangular screen, and this is round. So how screens are made? Screens, they will take plate of, suppose for example they want to make a screen out of steel plate. They will take a plate of steel, suppose a flattened plate of steel, they will punch it simply. Just punch it. So when they will punch it, so holes will be there. Suppose the punch is a rounded punch. So you will end up with this kind of screens, right? Simply they take a plate and punch it. Or they can do what? They can do drilling also. In that plate they used to do drills at a particular distance in horizontal and in vertical direction. Okay. So you can have what exactly? Actually these screens are divided on the basis of the shapes. You can see these are actually called aperture. Actually in simple word I can say openings, or in technically people used to say aperture. So in a screen you can have round aperture, you can have square aperture, you can have rectangular kind of aperture, right? Whatever I know that people use this one and this one mostly in industry. Rectangular and this one. Or they can use this one also, mostly. But if you see in your labs, you have seen in the lab class I guess, this one kind of thing. Those are actually what, these are single wires actually, huh? Steel wires will be there, they are arranged in this form. And mostly they have square opening. This opening is basically square. Kind of. This one and this one same. And oversize, undersize means what? Oversize means they cannot pass through the screen. They will remain on the top. And undersize means they will pass through the screen. That is undersize. So we write it as plus and minus. Okay. Suppose 40 mm. I can write 40 plus 40, minus 40. Plus 40 means they will remain on the screen. Minus 40 means they will pass through the screen. Or oversize, undersize, whatever. Okay, anyways, I can write a formula. You can write. It's the length divided by length. This is the diameter. Square into 100. So this formula is what exactly A0, A0 or whatever. That is A naught is nothing but your percentage opening, percentage square opening. You can write better. It is percentage square opening per unit area of the screen. You may get a question from this also. Percentage square opening per unit area of the screen. So this, what is this? This is the length of the square, and this is also the length, and this one is the diameter of the wire itself. Suppose this is a square screen, so this is nothing. This one is nothing but your diameter from here to here, and this is your length L. This is W. The thickness of the wire is the W, fine, or diameter you can say, and into 100%. So this is the percentage opening per unit cross-sectional area of the screen. Of course, that is important. That is more is the efficiency of the screening process. Okay, more is A naught, more will be the efficiency, of course. But this is a very interesting thing. Suppose you can put the screen in horizontal position like this, and you feed the material. But the moment you make some inclination, can you tell me this will be of same value or it will change? So, okay, fine. Can I take? So this is your screen, for example, square screen, fine. I am putting like this, and I am feeding the minerals from the top. But now just I do what? I just inclined at 20 degree, for example. So this value will be remain same or change?
Change.
It will remain change. That I can say effective opening, percentage opening. So what is that formula? You can simply write effective opening percentage is equal to A naught cos theta. AE naught is nothing but effective percentage opening. So you can write, suppose for example, you can write this one as 3.18. Just write this one as 3.18, and this W is 1.2. And solve it, how much will be? W is 1.2 and L is 3.18. So solve this one. How much A naught will be? Percentage opening. A is 1.2. Sorry, A is 3.18 and this W is 1.2. How much will get? Just see. 52.7 nearly. Check it. 52.7% is nearly, just check it how much. Yeah, 52.7 or nearly 6 point something. Percentage into 100. It is 52. You are getting nearly 52.7 or this is into 100, huh? This is into 100. 57. 52.7 it is coming actually. 257 it is coming. Yes. Okay, fine. Anyway. I need to check. Huh?
So 257.9.
Okay, can you stop? I need to check it.